Matt, this is Brett Jensen. Just curious, any updates on Teddy?
Sorry. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful that Teddy will practice on Wednesday. We'll just take it day by day, see if he can practice on Wednesday, and um, you know, um, see if he's available to go this week. So we'll give him today and tomorrow. Well, obviously he's coming for treatment today. We'll give him tomorrow. We'll see how he looks Wednesday, see what he can do, and see if he can go this week.
All right, we'll go to Mike Solarte and then Jonathan Alexander.
Thanks. Hey, Coach. After the game, Rhule Douglas mentioned that Shaq kind of got after the team a little bit and talking to him and a bit of a fiery post-game speech. Can you maybe shed some light on the temperature of the team at this point? I know that losing is obviously frustrating, but can you just kind of tell us where the guys are mentally going into a day off break and then back at it on Wednesday?
I don't know where they are. I mean, they should be ready to get ready for Detroit. We should have been upset after last night's game. Losing by 2 and losing by 23, it's the same thing in the end. That second half, as I said, was unacceptable. It was unacceptable to me. It was unacceptable to Shaq and many more. And so, we just got done with meetings. Guys were attentive, and what we need everyone to take accountability, move forward, and get ready for Detroit.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well. You sounded pretty optimistic last Friday about Christian McCaffrey possibly playing this Sunday, or that there was a possibility. There were reports that he might be out multiple weeks. So I'm wondering, has your optimism changed at all about his availability this week?
There's nothing different on my end. I mean, as I said last week, it'd be week to week. I haven't heard anything this week saying he couldn't go. So, I'll be hopeful that he can go this week. And if he can't, hopefully he can go next week. But nothing's changed on this end.
And also, what exactly was Teddy's injury?
Just right knee. Just his knee.
Okay, let's go to Joe Person and then to Chris Jenkins, please.
Matt, it seemed like you made something of an effort to play some younger guys yesterday, thinking of Cannon, kick return, a couple of the younger running backs. Is that something you might look for more opportunities to do more of moving forward, even this week at the quarterback position?
There was no effort to that. Mike, dislocated one of his fingers, and so he had to go in. So because we didn't have Christian, we had Rodney Smith up. We activated him from the practice squad. Cannon's been playing really well on special teams, and is a fast guy. So the special teams guys gave him a chance to return the kick, and obviously you saw what he did. But Rodney went in because Mike got hurt. So we will continue to play the guys that are playing the best. And unfortunately, this time of year, sometimes some of the guys who played a lot are just getting banged up, and that forces you to play some younger players, who have been on special teams, etc. But we'll continue to play whoever we think gives us the best chance to win each week, with no other real agenda, other than that. And then, obviously we have Will, we have PJ, we have confidence in both of them. We'll wait and see what Teddy's situation is.
Hey, Coach, could you break down the fake punt yesterday in terms of what was supposed to happen and what actually happened on that play?
Yeah. We had been motioning in, and we were trying to pick the inside guys and get Chin into the flat. And as he started running the flat, the edge rusher just, took him out. I mean, legally, but just hit him. And so he wasn't able to get out in the flat. So, as I said to the team, when you're the head coach and those things don't work, that it was a bad call. It's just the way it is. So it obviously was a bad call. But I thought it was a good play design by the special teams guys that had a chance, and just one of their players, just ran into our guy that we were hoping to throw the ball to.
All right, we'll go to Elena Getzenberg, followed by David Newton.
Hey, Matt, just a couple things first. Have you spoken to Teddy? I know obviously it's a different knee, but it's still a knee injury, and that obviously with Teddy causes some with the injury he had in 2016.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, he was just in meetings. I just came downstairs with him. I've had a chance to see him. I texted with him last night and then saw him today.
All good optimism and all that.
Yeah, I mean Teddy's he's in typical Teddy spirits. He's looking forward to the week. So like I said, we'll see what he can do, and especially when it's a lower body thing. I think you guys know me. Like I'm always just waiting to see how things respond. So we'll see how it responds.
And then I was curious, one of the positives yesterday was that Trenton Cannon kickoff return. What would it, switching him for Farrell, what went into that for yesterday's game?
We have a lot of confidence in Farrell. I mean, he remains our punt returner. But I just think those guys wanted to give Trenton a shot. He's just so fast that if he gets a crease, he can. We thought maybe he could split one, and he did. And the fake punt aside, I think it was the fake punt. You take that out. It was one of our best days on special teams. We have a 97-yard kick return, whatever it was. We block a extra point. We have down 2 punts inside the 3-yard line. I mean, I think a lot of our special teams players are stepping up and playing well. So, and then Trenton was one of the guys down on those punts as well. So he's a valuable member of our special teams.
Hey, Matt, when a team knows the play that's coming, as Shaq and some of the other defensive players mentioned yesterday, and they still don't execute, what's that say to you as a head coach about where things are right now?
You'd have to. I don't know what those guys said, so you'd have to. In terms of,
Rhule said that Shaq said about 30 times in the huddle that they were going to run that dive play, and they ran the play, and obviously they broke it for 98 yards.
Yeah. It just means that, as I said, as I showed them time and time again today, here again, you can't take that run out, but if you take that run out, they have 100 and some, 100 yards rushing. We did a good job in the run versus the run pretty much all day. And then 2 late runs, to me, when everyone's in their gap, there's no place to run the football. And, one guy gets out of his gap, the margin for error, increases. And, that's just all that was. I mean, it's not like this emotional thing, like, hey, this guy didn't try hard. Our guys played hard. It was just, one guy was supposed to be in the gap, didn't get in the gap. Another guy, gets blocked, and we weren't able to tackle him. And it was a great play for them. There's nothing, when the team's on the -1 yard line, there's nothing that's surprising about that. They're going to try to run the ball and get some yardage. So we tried to blitz right into it, and just didn't work out.
I wanted to ask you too, what is the plan if Teddy can't practice?
Just like I said, just get those other 2 guys ready and go from there. To me, both guys have worked really hard and deserve a chance to practice. So we'll let them practice it out and see who deserves the right to go. But both those guys, I mean, I'm really pleased with Will and PJ so far this year. So I have confidence that both those guys can win a game.
All right, we'll go to Steve Reed and Josh Klein.
Well, Matt, David sort of stole my question there, but I did want to follow up with something else on Teddy. Can you say, did he have an MRI that showed no structural damage? Can you tell us anything medically with that? I know you're not a doctor, but anything you can tell us there?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a significant injury. I mean, he went and got all the testing last night. He doesn't have a significant. I just don't want to say I don't want to say the wrong thing and have it be what structural means. I don't know, right? So, he does not have a significant, injury.
Matt, Phil Snow talked about how important interior pass rusher is going to be against Tom Brady. I was hoping you could evaluate what you thought, how you thought your interior pass rush was yesterday, and how a lack or a good interior pass rush can affect the edge rushers, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, in general, like on the sack we had at the end with where FA had the sack, I showed the team, like we blitzed. Burns came off the edge. That made Brady step up, and then FA won as a 3 technique as an interior pass rusher and got the sack, right? So everything works off of each other. When you have good outside pass rushers, they chip you, and then you need your inside guys to win. I think so that's how they all relate to each other, right? The inside guys help the outside guys by pushing the pocket. The outside guys help the inside guys by forcing them to step up, and that's how you get most of your inside sacks. I at the end of the day, we had one sack last night, so I don't think anyone, I don't think anyone would say, hey, we rushed superbly well. That Tom Brady has historically not gotten sacked very much because he does such a good job of getting the ball out of his hands. And I did not walk away from it saying, hey, boy, we didn't play very well inside. I thought our inside guys might some of them played some of their best games in terms of stopping the run and getting some pressure, but just not consistent enough and not the ability to get the sack. We right now inside are making the quarterback slide and step and do all those things, but we're not getting the final production that we need, especially versus a guy like Brady.
All right, we'll go to Steven Toronto and Will Kunkel.
Coach, you alluded to Shaq Thompson, and I know when you were at Temple and when you were in your first year at Baylor, you had some streaks like this, but you really didn't have guys who were there 5, 6, 7 years of the program. How important is it to have a guy like Shaq who has been on a Super Bowl team, has been with this franchise for success, and has learned from some great players? How important is it to have him in particular saying that there's things like what happened on Sunday can't happen?
I don't think Shaq's I think Shaq's valuable, right? I don't think Shaq's I think Shaq's credibility to the team comes from what he's doing right now. I think all the players always evaluate. Yeah, they respect guys who've been in the league for a while, but they evaluate what you're doing because they see way more than I see. And you see a guy like Shaq going out there and played 84 plays, whatever he played. And then, we pulled him out in the last drive and he was angry. He was like, I want to go back in there and play, I want to finish the game. And so, that to me is what gives you the right to say something, right? It's what you're doing right now, not what you've done. And so, Shaq wants to be a good player, a good leader. He's a good man. I respect the heck out of him. And, I thought what he said, and I'll let him say what he said if he chooses to do so, but I thought what he said was warranted and normal. I thought it was well said. It's not that we lost the game. It's just that at the end of the day, we let go of the rope a little bit in the we gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. And that wasn't helped by the fact that I'm going for it on 4th and 10. But as I told them, we're here to win the game. We're not here to keep it close. And so we're going to do whatever it takes to win the game. And, I think Shaq's development is really accelerating right now as a leader, as he sees himself in the room. He's the veteran, and but most importantly, he does things right, as right as he can do them, and that to me is what gives him a lot of credibility.
Hey Matt, it's Will from Fox. Just 2 questions. One, have you guys talked about having Dante just sit out for a while to get better, or is there nothing you can do and you just got to kind of see what happens week to week?
Yeah, it's been I feel for Dante. It's been a tough cycle. He practices during the week. We limit him in practice, but last week, he practiced pretty much full go, and unfortunately, he gets to the game and re-aggravates it. So I think we would explore all things moving forward. For him, he's certainly he cares and he tries to get out there and play, and I respect that about him.
All right, let's go.
And then how would you? Just one last one. How would you evaluate Tahir Whitehead's play this year?
I'll talk about yesterday. I thought Tahir played well yesterday. We're in nickel so much that his snaps are limited, but in the plays that he's in, I think he did a good job. They had the ball 2nd and 1 with a chance to score, and I thought that whole group, that base group, stepped up and held them to a field goal. So, I thought the defense, as frustrating as it was for them, I thought, they gave up, they drove that the second half, they drove down and they held them to a field goal. They had that turnover. They scored a touchdown, they held them to a field goal. They kept us in the game in the second half, but I thought Tahir played, well in the snaps that he was in.
All All right, guys, we're getting closer on time, but let's go ahead and go to JB Ricks and Darren Gant. We'll see where we are for that.
Hey, Coach, JB here from Spectrum News 1. Thanks for taking out the time. I just wanted to ask you about the Lions. If you have an early scouting report on them, I know it's early in the week and you have much more film you probably have to gather, but just based off what they've done this season, how do you match them up as far as your next opponent? And is this a great opportunity for you guys to end that losing skid?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tremendous opportunity for us to, to win a game and win a game at home. They did a nice job yesterday. They came out, DeAndre Swift was out there for them. They still have Adrian Peterson running the football. Obviously, Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's throwing the ball at a high level. Yesterday, at least they were a run and play action pass team. They have some real skill on defense. I mean, they're big up front, force you to throw the football. So, I have to study them a ton, but we've had a chance to see them in a lot of crossover tape leading up to this year. And I think that those guys are, they're obviously doing some things right. They were in a tough spot early, and Coach Patricia and his team has hung in there and rebounded.
Matt, when you're playing so many young guys defensively and a game gets sideways the way yesterday's did, do you change your tone on Monday? Do you talk to them differently than when things are close, or are you trying to keep the messaging consistent, whether it's 2 or 23, as you said?
I would say, I mean, you'd probably have to ask the guys. I would say my message is my tone and message is probably different every week, every day. I mean, I shouldn't say it. My tone is different. My message is always the same. It just comes down to, where we are, like, how do we play? What I want to get out of everyone's on our team's head is it's not like flat, and it's not like, like all these emotional things. Like we played the first half, it was 17-17 like that. We played good football, not great football. We played good football. They played good football. Then it was a 2-score game going into the fourth quarter. Like, we've been down 2 scores. We've come back and won, and then just kind of got away from us. Right. So, each week I probably talk to them a little bit differently based upon what happened and where we are. And, the thing about this group that I like is they bounce back. The young guys, the young players, a lot of our young players are doing some great things. And so, I just try to talk to each player individually as their own person, and just communicate. Here's what's expected. Here's where I think you can improve. And the one thing I'm trying to get across to them is if we're coaching you, it means that we think that you're a really good player. If we're telling you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, or what you can do better, we think that you think you're a good player and you can continue to play even better. And so that's been, that's an emphasis for us. But I think each week's its own entity based upon not the result, but, the way you played and the way, as I told them today, they played hard yesterday. I have no effort the way the effort that they played with. It's just, versus a great team like that, a great quarterback like that, a tenacious defense like that, we have to be more precise, more detailed than we were.
Guys, I think we can take one more, so I'll just go ahead and finish off with Joe Person.
Hey, Matt, given the issues in the third quarter, which you were addressing yesterday, might you kind of reevaluate sort of kind of how you guys handle halftime adjustments? And then secondly, you had talked about yesterday thinking DJ's catch was clean on the field. Is there someone upstairs that helps you with those kind of replay decisions?
Well, it wouldn't be really a replay decision, right? Like there's someone upstairs that helps me if I want to replay it. Like I'll say, hey guys, did you see it? Can you see it? Did he catch it? It's a little bit harder at home because the people upstairs can't see the jumbotrons. You go to some other stadiums, the people upstairs can see the jumbotron. So really at our place, I have to kind of count on me looking up at the jumbotron. But I do ask guys if they saw it. But when it's our own, like last week against the Chiefs, if you'll remember, we threw a ball to Curtis, and on the field we were like, I weren't sure if he caught it, so we ran up and we ran a play really quickly so that to get past the replay. Just from where I was on the field, it looked like it was clean, and no one that I can remember said, "Oh, hey, hey, he might have dropped that." So, but needing help on replay would come obviously when we want to replay, not when we see it like that. And then the first part of your question, I'm sorry, Joe, was what?
Potential of maybe reevaluating halftime adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, we've reevaluated everything. and this is like, if you look back and like, I just think it's one of those deals where like, we just have to be better. Like, we just have to play better. And really it's offensively, defensively, we're kind of, I thought the defense, like I said, I thought they went out and, we had a turnover, the pick to Pierre-Paul and then the fake punt that I called. I thought they held up on both of those and held us to field goals and gave us a chance to be in the game. So just offensively, we just have not gotten in a rhythm in the second, early in the second half. And so fourth quarter, we've usually gotten into a rhythm. And so we've tried different things in the locker room. We've practiced different things. I think there was no doubt about the energy yesterday going out there. But at the end of the day, they came after us and blitzed us, and we weren't able to pick it up and get the ball completed. And so that's, to me, that comes down to it just comes down to football and us making sure that the football is right and good enough. And so we just have to continue to search and say, hey, are we doing this as well as we possibly can do it?